I just spent 13 nights on the Disney Dream taking a solo transatlantic cruise. It was a terrific cruise, except for one thing that did go wrong, but we'll get into that later. Today I'm going to walk you through the cruising experience as a solo traveler on a transatlantic. We're going to look at the ship, the shows, the entertainment, the food, and our port stops. So let's get started. I was very excited for this cruise. I'd never been aboard the Disney Dream before, although this is my second transatlantic as a solo traveler on a Disney ship. This was our itinerary. We began in Miami. Days 2 through 7 were days at sea. We stopped in Ponta Delgada, the Azores, had a day at sea. We stopped in Lisbon, Cadiz, Malaga, Cartagena, and then disembarked in Barcelona. One of the reasons I enjoy a transatlantic is because I just love cruise ships. I love spending that much time at sea with nothing else to do but enjoy the ship, the weather, the outdoors, all the things the ship has to offer. We left out of Miami, and I have to say, embarkation was a bit of a mess. The entire port was backed up and overcrowded. There was a lot of traffic. There was a Formula One racing event in town. And we all ended up waiting in line to enter the building about 30 to 45 minutes past when we should have. But pretty soon, I was on the ship, walking around, looking at Miami, and just enjoying getting to know the Disney Dream. All of the ships in port ended up leaving much later than their planned departure times. I'm not sure why, but we were all about an hour and a half behind schedule. They went ahead and did the sail away party even though we were docked, which was a lot of fun, a trademark Disney event. However, I was at dinner when we finally did sail away. I was seated at dinner with several other solo travelers, and they were so much fun and so interesting and really nice people. We had a lovely table next to the window, so I did get some sail away footage, and it was beautiful. My cabin was an interior guaranteed room. It turned out to be a connecting cabin, which wasn't a problem at all. There were some gifts left in the cabin for Castaway Club members. A really big tote bag, a little wet and dry bag, and a lanyard. My room had a magic porthole, so when you turned it on, animated things happened in the porthole from time to time. If you're new to Disney, you may not be aware that decorating doors is a big thing on a Disney ship. I didn't do that, but a lot of people go all out. They spend years collecting these magnets. They make them by hand. They order them off Etsy. You can walk up and down the ship and see all kinds of creative doors. I went for a stroll that evening while the sun was setting, just getting familiar with the Disney Dream. It felt pretty full for this cruise. I wasn't sure if I was going to like it or not, but I had high hopes. It really is beautiful at night. I will go ahead and spoil this a little bit by saying the Dream is not my favorite ship. A perfectly lovely ship, not my favorite. We'll get into that a bit more later. But wonderful ship with a lot to offer. I especially enjoy these outdoor movies by the pool, both during the day and in the evening. I woke up on my second day with 6 straight sea days ahead of me. I won't share them here day by day. I'll just lump them into one big section. But I was really, really looking forward to these sea days. In fact, I feel like all of the days at sea are one of the main reasons to take a transatlantic. It's a wonderful time to just really relax, enjoy the ship, and enjoy the outdoors and crossing the ocean. Now, if you're not a Disney fan, then Disney Cruise Line is not for you. It's Disney 24/7, everywhere you go, all the entertainment, all the shows, everything. Personally, I love that. And one of the great things about a Disney cruise ship is that although it's heavy on family atmosphere, they do have some areas just for adults set aside, and they're gorgeous. For example, let's take a quick look here. Here's your adults only area on the pool deck. It's a wonderful area, very popular. You have an adults only hot tub that looks straight out over the ocean. This is a wonderful place to be, especially at sunset. Here's your adults only pool. It's gorgeous. Now it does stay full all day long, as do the loungers, but wonderful option if you want to get away a little bit from the hustle and bustle of families. Right here is Cove Cafe. It's a coffee shop, complimentary snacks and desserts, upcharge specialty coffees. Wonderful place, very popular. Some of the bars and lounges are just beautiful, like Skyline. This is just amazing. It feels like being in Manhattan in the middle of the night. Meridian is a beautiful place to gather with just outstanding views of the ocean. I spent my sea days pretty much all the same, and this is how they would go. I'd get up very early and see some beautiful sunrise somewhere, just gorgeous. I would go down to Cabanas, which is their buffet, and have breakfast there. Lots of choices here, something hot and fresh. If you want cold cereal, they have that, fruit, you name it. Then I would hit the hot tub. I would get there right when the hot tub opened, so it was still empty, and I would soak in the hot tub for quite a while. We had gorgeous weather the first few days that we were at sea, and that made it very nice. After the hot tub, I would move to the pool deck. I would spend all day at the pool. I would swim some, and I would watch movie after movie, enjoy the weather. I rode the aqueduct slide one time. Lots of fun. Next to the pool, they have a little shop here called Who's Its and Whatnots. They sell swimsuits, sunscreen, different things you might have forgotten to pack for yourself that you might need at the pool. One of my favorite areas was up here above the adult pool. This is a family zone, but there were hardly ever any families here. It was almost always just a few adults. It felt like an overlooked part of the ship, and it was just beautiful. Lots of sun here, lots of space, little tables and chairs, loungers. There was even this funny little pool here where you could just sit and cool off if you got too hot, or you could sit around the edge and just put your feet in. Of course, next to the pool was free ice cream all day long. They also had Frozone's treats. Now that was an upcharge, but you could get Dole Whip, all kinds of frozen treats and slushies. I would usually have lunch in the fast food area near the pool. This is called Flo's Cafe. It's made up of Tomater's Grill, Luigi's Pizza, and Fillmore's Favorites. They had burgers here, also veggie burgers and plant-based hot dogs and normal hot dogs. A little topping bar here for your sandwiches. They had chicken strips, pre-made sandwiches, pre-made salads and wraps, and some fruit cups. But for the most part, it was the same things every day. And this was one of my favorite places for lunch. Now, there was usually a huge line, but it would move very quickly. The dining room was also open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I did have breakfast and lunch there once in a while, and that was very lovely as well. In the afternoons, I might go catch a movie at the Buena Vista Theater. They had a great selection of films. They were showing the whole Transatlantic. And it's a really nice theater. Great sound, comfortable seats, everything you could want, and they sell popcorn outside. I might hit the shops during the day. Once in a while, I would go in and poke around. They had Mickey's Mainsail, Diamonds and Wishes, Sea Treasures, all great shops, varying merchandise from t-shirts to really high-end jewelry. Of course, it's almost all Disney products. I just loved browsing around in there, just passing some time this way. Diamonds and Wishes had some beautiful things in there. I didn't buy anything in Diamonds and Wishes, but I did enjoy visiting. There were plenty of other things to do day to day. I would almost always go to the gym. They have a gorgeous gym on the Dream. And I went to the spa a few times. I had my hair done. I got a massage one day. The spa is beautiful. The staff is professional and courteous. It's a really nice place to be. I would continue exploring the ship day to day, find all these interesting outdoor seating areas. I would usually go to the D Lounge for trivia or maybe some game shows of some kind, maybe a drawing class. I also enjoyed going up to Vista Cafe. It overlooked the atrium. It had wonderful portholes looking out to the sea. It was a quiet place to get coffee and relax. It was fun to overlook the atrium. I have to admit, I loved seeing the costumed characters. Now, I know that's not for everybody, but even as a solo adult, I just loved watching all of the costumed characters interact with the kids on board. They had different costumes depending on what port we were in. It was just so much fun, and of course, it's part of the Disney experience. Evenings were a lot of fun because that's when we got to see the shows. The shows were incredible. We had Beauty and the Beast, Believe, and the Golden Mickeys. Wonderful classic Disney music, great singing, dancing, amazing costumes. Really wonderful. The theater fills up fast. If it's important to you to sit near the front, you're going to want to get there early. We also had several parties on deck and in the atrium. It just happened to be Disney's silver anniversary at sea. And this was one of the first sailings where they premiered parties and merchandise and costumes for the characters, special things like that. Those filled up and got very crowded, but they were a lot of fun. Aside from the shows, you could always go down to the district and find plenty of live music, trivia, different events for family or for adults. There were bars here, lounges. The district was a really nice part of the ship to just go in the evening, unwind, relax, sit back and just enjoy yourself. They had this little tiny bubble of a bar called the Pink Champagne Bar. I just love this. So classic, so retro, very creative. A really fun atmosphere to be in. Even if you don't drink champagne, you might want to pop in and get a sparkling water or whatever and just enjoy yourself. Back here in the district was Evolution. This was another lounge similar to the D Lounge. They had trivia events here, a towel folding class one day. It was mostly family friendly. Once in a while there were adults only events in here. And of course, one of the best parts of the evening was going up to the deck and checking out the sunset. We had incredible sunsets and occasionally saw dolphins. Even though the cruise was going just great, this was about the time I started to decide that the Disney Dream was not my favorite Disney cruise ship. Now, I've only been on 3. I've been on the Dream, the Magic, and the Wonder. I've been on the Wonder twice, once to the Caribbean and once to Alaska. I think the difference for me is the fact that the Dream is a much larger ship than the Magic or the Wonder. It felt crowded and full. There was always a pack to get into the theater and just a crush to get out of the theater and find a seat. The dining rooms, of course, were jam-packed and very noisy, and always a problem getting an elevator if you needed one. It was little things like that, and I'm not really sure why this bothered me, because normally I love a really big, busy ship. I don't mind being on a Royal Caribbean Oasis ship, which can hold over 6,000 people, but there was just something about the Disney experience and 4,000 people that just felt a little off to me. At long last, after all of those relaxing days at sea, we made our first port stop in the Azores. Forgive me if I mispronounce things, but we ported in the Azores at Ponta Delgada. I had a tour booked. It was a 3 to 4 hour tour where we get in a bus, we drive all around Set Ciudades and look at it from different viewpoints. And of course, we get to take in the rest of the surroundings as we drive around. We were going to make a pit stop halfway through and have just a little bit of time. And it was a beautiful day. Couldn't wait to get out and see the Azores for the first time. There is a legend about Set Ciudades. There was a blue-eyed princess who fell in love with a green-eyed shepherd. They were forbidden to marry, and they had to say farewell to each other. When they did, they cried so much they filled up 2 lakes. One lake is blue from the blue-eyed princess, and one lake is green from the green-eyed shepherd. Definitely a strange feeling to be walking around on land after 6 days at sea, but it was great. I was happy to be there. The bus was full. We had a great day, kind of cloudy but not raining. Wonderful, incredible scenery. If you go to the Azores, you have to do something where you get out and really see the beauty and the nature of the place. It is so green, so many shades of green. The water is gorgeous. The coastline is amazing. There are sheep everywhere. It's a very hilly area. You will be driving up very steep roads and down very steep roads. If you get car sick, you might want to keep that in consideration. But overall, wonderful chance to get out and see some of the Azores. I've never been here before. We had an excellent tour guide, an excellent driver. The day flew by, and I really appreciated being able to see set ciudades from different viewpoints. The next day was one more day at sea, and then we were going to arrive in Lisbon. I didn't know it, but things were about to go pretty wrong for me. I really enjoyed that extra sea day. Even though we just had a whole bunch of sea days, it was a really nice way to relax, think about all I had seen in the Azores. Everybody talked about their tours and were so excited. A lot of people did whale watching and saw lots of different kinds of whales and dolphins. I enjoyed our sea day, and I especially enjoyed going to dinner that evening. I haven't really walked you through the dining rooms. I'm going to give you a quick look right now. The three main dining rooms are Animator's Palette, Royal Palace, and Enchanted Garden. This is Animator's Palette. It is my favorite dining room of all. You'll notice it's based on the art of animation. The chairs look like Mickey Mouse pants. The waiters are wearing white shirts with black sketches on them from different animated movies. The best part of this dining room is the slideshow that goes on screens around the dining room showing storyboard art, concept art, animation sketches, all different movies. Every movie Disney ever made, if they have artwork, you're going to see a little bit of it during the evening. One night, Crush the Turtle comes out and talks to you, and he really talks to you. It's not pre-recorded. Beautiful things to look at. The food is very good. Service is usually excellent. Lot to see here, lots of theming around animation. Even the knife looks like a little paint palette. The Enchanted Garden is beautiful. It's inspired by the gardens of Versailles. It's a market-style menu. Gorgeous dining room. The lights are glass flowers. There's a 7-foot-tall fountain in the middle with a stone Mickey. During the course of the meal, the lights change. The atmosphere goes from blue to sort of a gold-red setting sun kind of motif, and the flower lights bloom. It's a really beautiful, elegant dining room. We had a seat by the window. Really enjoyed this. We ate here the night that we left the Azores, and while we were eating, we looked out the window and we saw lots and lots of dolphins jumping alongside the ship. The Royal Palace was popular. Not only was it part of dining for dinner, but it was open for breakfast and lunch as well. This is American and French cuisine. Lots of French inspiration here. Iced lobster, roasted lamb, roasted wild boar, duck, spinach souffle, creme brulee, peanut butter mousse, things like that. And I just have to take a minute to talk about the coffee. This is not part of the dining room. This was offered in Cove Cafe, but look how beautiful these are. These were works of art. And of course, you saw a lot of Disney characters pop up in your coffee. Really fun to go up to Cove Cafe, get a latte, and see what you end up with. And of course, no matter which dining room you're in, a Mickey bar is always the perfect dessert. As we wrapped up our day at sea, it was Pirate Night. This is a very special night on Disney ships, so much fun. People are invited to dress up in pirate gear, and a lot of families go all out. Everyone's given a little pirate bandana in their stateroom they can wear however they want. The waiters at dinner dress up in pirate gear. The costumed characters wear pirate outfits, and there is a huge party on the deck after dinner when it's dark. Lots of dancing, lots of pirate songs, and it's finished off by fireworks at sea. This is not some small little fireworks show. This is a really big fireworks show. Gorgeous fireworks, beautiful. So much fun to be in the middle of the ocean watching fireworks just off deck. Lisbon was the port I was most looking forward to. I booked a 3 to 4 hour tour called Highlights of Lisbon Small Group. We boarded a bus in the morning. They drove us out to Jeronimus Monastery. Please forgive me if I mispronounce. This was an amazing place. Now, we did have reservations, we had tickets, but just the same, we waited in a very long line and it was quite warm. We waited outside for quite a while before we were allowed in. So just keep that in mind. If you go, you're going to want a sun hat, maybe even an umbrella for shade. Bring some water. This was a great place to see. Overwhelming, beautiful, historic, incredible. After this, we went next door to the Maritime Museum. This was very interesting. We breezed through here in about 20 to 30 minutes. Then we went next door to a cafe. We had about 15 minutes. We could either go get in a very long line for the restroom, or we could try to grab a snack, which also had a long line. Back on the bus, and we drove around Lisbon and managed to see quite a few more things. We stopped here by the water for a photo opportunity, quick photos. Beautiful day, very busy. Lots of tourists like us, lots of other tour buses and tour groups. And here's where things started to go wrong for me. Went to dinner, and during dinner really started to suddenly not feel well, and I mean suddenly. I left dinner abruptly, barely made it back to my room in time, and I was extremely sick for the next 24 hours. Very, very sick. Now, this could have been anything. It could have been food poisoning. It could have been an ordinary stomach virus, or it could have been norovirus. I strongly suspect I had norovirus. I've never been that sick in my whole life. All that night, all the next day, I stayed in my room. I was too sick to leave to go see the ship's doctor. It was truly awful. I put the sticker on the outside of my door indicating I did not want room service or room cleaning of any kind. I did not want my room steward to come into the room and be exposed to germs. The next day was day 11. We docked in Cadiz. I did not leave my room all day. The next day was day 12, Malaga. That was when I felt well enough to make it to the ship's doctor. I was in a lot of distress. I had a lot of pain. I was just not in good shape. The doctor helped me out, gave me some medication, and I went back to my room and rested and rested. I had bottled water in my room. I had a few snacks, although I did not want anything to eat the first couple of days. On day 12, when we docked in Malaga, I did leave my room, walk around deck 4 on the walking trail just to get some air. I was still feeling weak. I didn't want to be around people. I didn't go to any of the dining room. I was part of a Facebook cruise group for this cruise, and right about then, a few people started posting that they were also sick with the same symptoms that I had. There was some speculation it was norovirus. Some people had had to go to the doctor and get an IV for fluid replacement. It wasn't an epidemic by any means, but there were about 5 to 10 of us in the Facebook group who mentioned this. And the Facebook group only had about 800 people in it. There were 4,000 people on the ship, so I don't know if this was a problem for quite a few more people outside my Facebook group, if it was just a small group of us. Really don't know the circumstances behind any of this, but this is how my cruise ended, with being really, really sick. So, what are my final thoughts about the Disney Dream? First of all, despite being sick, I had a good cruise. Having said that, that was the sickest I've ever been, and it's changed the way I view cruising. I'm a little bit scared now that that might happen again. Is this going to prevent me from cruising? No. But it is in the back of my mind now that this is a possibility, and believe me, it was no fun. Getting back to the Disney Dream. This is a beautiful ship. Lots to love here. If you love Disney, if you love an elegant, beautiful cruise ship with lots to do, this would suit you just fine. I enjoyed the Dream. I admire the Dream. I appreciate a lot about the Dream. I just didn't feel the magic here. I don't know why. Can't put my finger on it. I felt that way before I got sick. Now, I'm sure being sick as I was has sort of cemented my desire to not really return to the Dream, but not sure why I didn't love it, but didn't love it. Now, as far as the Transatlantic Cruise, I heartily recommend a transatlantic cruise, whether you're with family and friends or if you're solo. I have some videos about solo transatlantic cruising on my channel if you want to look for them. Crossing the Atlantic is a really big deal. You're not just sailing around near shore, you are in the middle of the Atlantic. It is incredible. That wraps up all I have to say about my transatlantic cruise. Thank you so much for sticking in there for this nice long video. If you have any comments to add, please leave a comment in the comment section. If you have any tips for transatlantic cruising, if you love the Dream, don't like the Dream, please share. If you've had norovirus or an illness on a cruise ship and would like to tell us about it, please leave a comment. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy your next cruise. Please like and subscribe, and please return. Bye for now, and happy sailing!